This program was previously recorded. Hello and welcome to this week's edition of the Porter County Perspective. I'm your host, WDSO's News Director, Joe Parlock, and today we have Kevin Nupnaw in our studio. He is the Assistant Director of the Valparaiso Parks Department. Thank you for joining me today.
Thank you, Joe. Really excited to be here.
Excited to have you. First, can you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about your background?
Yeah, so as Joe mentioned, I'm Kevin Nupnaw. I'm the Assistant Director at Valpo Parks. I've been there for 5 years now. I'm originally from Valparaiso, Indiana. I went to Valparaiso High School, graduated undergrad from Valparaiso University, and then had the fortunate opportunity to move to Chicago, where I lived for 5 years. While I was there, I got my master's in sports administration from Northwestern University. Had a couple jobs while I was in the city, and then 5 years ago moved back to Valpo and started working for Valpo Parks. So I've had a lot of different perspectives in my short career, from more localized opportunities to some regional and national opportunities while being in Chicago. But ultimately found my way back to Northwest Indiana and Valparaiso, and excited with the opportunity that we have at Valpo Parks in the city of Valparaiso.
Well, this transitions well. What brought you into the Parks Department, and can you tell us some of your favorite things about your job?
Sure. So when I was looking at moving back to Valpo, I was interested in working for an organization that had a lot of really close community ties, was doing good work within the city itself and helping it progress forward. And that opportunity led me, fortunately, to Valpo Parks, where I was able to connect with the current director, John Seibert, and his staff, and felt at home with the staff that they had and the projects that they were working on. And it just felt like the right fit for me as I was transitioning in my career to something that I had a passion about, which was this town and the work that they're doing. So it was a good fit for me at the time, and I've been fortunate to be there for now 5 years.
What are your favorite things about the job?
I think the favorite thing for me about the job is that every day is extremely different. My role, I get to work with a lot of different staff members, as well as a lot of different programs and events. So I have the ability to get my hands involved in a lot of different things that we do on a daily basis. Right now, as we'll talk about a little bit later, we're working on a couple large projects, one being the Valparaiso Skate Park and another one being the Valparaiso Sports and Recreation Campus, both of which I get to be involved with on a daily basis, helping make decisions on who, what, where, and how as it relates to those projects. So that's been rewarding for me to be a part of those teams, as well as start to see some real progress happening, and we're excited about what the future holds. So I would say for me, it's the projects that I get most excited about, sort of what's new, what's next, and what's exciting for the city of Valpo and the surrounding areas.
How many parks comprise the Valpo Parks Department, and can you mention some of the highlights of the many parks?
Yeah, so we have 22 total properties. Of those 22 properties, 19 of them we'd call sort of a traditional park. And then within those 19 parks, there's 15 playgrounds. So we always like to use those benchmarks throughout our portfolio. But in addition to the parks within the playgrounds, we have 2 golf courses that are fully operational. We have the downtown Central Park Plaza, which is an entertainment venue. Throughout the year, in the winter, it turns into an ice rink for those to be able to use for general skating as well as youth and adult hockey. And then if you've been down there any summer night, you know that there's a plethora of events that happen throughout the weeks all summer long. Some of the highlights, most people are well aware of Central Park Plaza as well as Valparaiso. Those are 2 of our signature parks. But all of them are equally important to us, whether they're the destination parks, like I mentioned, the neighborhood parks, or the pocket parks. All of them have their own unique reason for why they exist, and all of them have a unique opportunity for people to engage with them. So a lot of variety, which is what we hope to strive for, as well as located in places that people can, they're readily accessible, which is important that people can get to parks and can enjoy them.
So, as I see here, the Valpo Parks Department has a wide variety of youth and adult sports, along with many activities for all ages. So we're gonna first talk about the youth sports. What sports do you offer for kids, and can you tell us about the registration process?
Yeah, so we have 12 sports that we offer. I won't name all of them, but we're excited about the variety that we do offer. Things such as soccer, baseball, lacrosse, and youth hockey, just to name a few. We're constantly looking for what's next, whether they're trends locally, trends nationally that people are getting involved with. That's how we came across providing lacrosse. It's a growing sport in our area, as well as youth hockey. Now that there's an opportunity with the ice rink downtown, we can offer that sport, something that didn't exist when I was a kid. So we're constantly looking for what's next, and we serve thousands of kids playing within our youth sports programming all the way, basically year round. We're getting ready to kick off our busiest season in youth sports, which includes soccer and baseball. And we're seeing really strong numbers in both of those sports, which is great to see. Kids participating, socializing, getting outside. But I'd say most importantly, right, it's important that the kids find opportunities to interact with each other. And that's what the youth sports opportunities provide.
What lacrosse team goes out of Valpo?
So there's a Valpo club lacrosse team. For us specifically, it's a clinic that we host. So it's something that they can learn skills and drills within the sport itself. And then there's a local club not affiliated with the high school that they can play on. I know that Chesterton has a club team, I believe. And some other local schools do. And I wouldn't be surprised if that happens at Valpo. But right now it's sort of an outside private opportunity, but you're starting to see it become more popular within the sports realm.
Mm. How many kids play on rec teams for the department every year?
It's hard to say exactly, but I would say there's 2,000 to 3,000 kids that participate in our rec programs. It fluctuates depending on how many sports we offer, but traditionally that's about how many we serve, from boys, girls, to the variety of sports that I had mentioned earlier. We try to provide opportunities for as many people as possible. Certainly, as our mission is, right, want to provide recreational opportunities for everybody, regardless of age, skill, ability, but also, having the variety of things. So it's for those that are more recreational based, and also those that are more competitive based. We do offer all of those.
Mm. Well, besides, getting time outside and exercising and everything, what else do you believe kids gain from playing in a rec league?
Yeah, I think it's really important, whether you think you are good at a sport, or whether you are competitive at that sport. I think it's important that kids participate in anything, right? Whether it's sports or enrichment opportunities, because I think the thing it really provides is relationship building, socialization, helps build confidence, helps provide that backdrop for learning. Coaches, whether they're volunteer or paid coaches, their job is to coach, to teach, and to be mentors in most cases. So I think regardless of the scoreboard at the end of the game, I think sports provides, the socialization that's important for kids, and hopefully the confidence building as they progress through the season. At the beginning of the year, everyone is on the same playing field in terms of, their growth. And at the end of the program, we hope that, they've learned something and can take away a positive experience from whatever they participated in.
Are there any opportunities to become volunteers or coaches to make sure kids are able to get the most out of their time on the Valparaiso Parks Department leagues? And if so, how can people find more information about doing that?
Absolutely. So volunteer coaches is the heartbeat of our organization. Whether it's soccer, baseball, lacrosse, what have you, all of our coaches are volunteer. And in most cases, they're parents of the kids participating. And so becoming a volunteer coach not only helps the Valpo Parks in being able to have as many teams as possible, but also, like we said earlier, they are the mentors to the 8, 10, 12 kids that are on that team. And so if people are interested in volunteering, when you register online through our website, which is valpoparks.org, there is a question on there that if you're interested in being a volunteer coach, you can say yes, and then our staff will follow up with you to verify that you do want to be a volunteer coach, and then we can go through the necessary background check and paperwork that it requires. But extremely helpful for us to get as many volunteer coaches as possible, and we certainly appreciate those that do volunteer because it's important for the kids to have the best experience possible.
Is there anything you can tell us about the Valpo Parks Department's kids' summer camp programs? What are the benefits of attending, and why would you recommend parents send their kids there?
So our summer camp program is called Discovery Day Camp. It's located at Rogers Lakewood Park, which is on Meridian Road as you head out of Valpo. It's a really fun camp. I really enjoy going out there during the summer and seeing the kids interacting. It's an 8-week summer program. And the unique part about it is it's at Rogers Lakewood, which if you aren't familiar with that park, it's 122 acres. It's got 2 bodies of water. It has a woods. It has a lot of natural exploratory opportunities there. And so our camp really takes advantage of the atmosphere that it's in, being at the park. We host roughly 150 to 160 kids per week over the 8 weeks. So get to impact a lot of youth in a lot of different ways. And so I think if you're looking for an outdoor camp, one that explores being in nature, one that's not tied to technology, it's a really good opportunity for those to explore as a summer camp opportunity. We have great staff. We have great directors that really try to get creative with the kids and do as much as they can outside and as small groups.
How many kids attend these camps?
About 150 per week, and they sign up each week. So it's flexible in the sense that if you're going on vacation one week, that's okay. Just don't sign up for that week. Or if maybe you have other daycare or responsibilities already taken care of, you can sign up for whatever weeks you don't. And we'll be there this summer to help you through making sure that the kids have fun and stay active while maybe mom or dad or others are working.
Mm-hmm. Well, for a hypothetical family who would love to send their kids to the activities offered by the Parks Department, but are worried about the fees associated, is there, a fee assistance program perhaps?
There is a fee assistance program, and those that are interested or needing that assistance can contact the Valpo Parks office, 219-462-5144. We base it off of the free and reduced lunch program through the Valparaiso Community Schools. We do have an application that's filled out, reviewed internally, and then if the assistance is granted, then we'll work with you on a discounted rate for those programs. So we're really thankful for the opportunity to be able to work with as many kids as possible. And so that program is something that, if needed, please take advantage of that, because we want every kid to be able to participate in our programs.
What can you tell us about Valpo's Discovery Cottage?
Discovery Cottage, it's another one of our youth enrichment programs that we offer. It's a preschool, ages 3 through 5. Really, the goal is to get kids ready for kindergarten. And so we hope that you take the journey with us as a 3-year-old, 4-year-old, 5-year-old. There are different classes that we offer, different time commitments that are available, but all really with the goal of preparing kids for kindergarten. We have a great staff that is responsible for creating the curriculum and keeping kids engaged. We have, for 3-year-olds, we have a 2-hour class. And then for 4 and 5-year-olds, it's a longer 4 or 5-hour class that are offered throughout the week. It's located at our Discovery Cottage building, which is off of 1158 Harrison Boulevard. It's a great intimate setting with a lot of really great engagement opportunities within the building itself. But it really comes down to our teachers and our directors that we're really proud of, and we think deliver a really great program for the kids.
Mm. That's a good note to wrap that section up on, because for the adult leagues, there are quite a few sports from softball to hockey. What can you tell us about those, and have you personally played in any of the adult leagues yourself? Like what?
Adult leagues are something that we're really thankful that we have the facilities to be able to host adult leagues. So we offer adult softball, men's, women's, and co-ed. That program happens May through October at Fairgrounds Park. We have 4 softball fields there that we host over 100 teams throughout the summer. We have adult volleyball, which we actually partner with the Valparaiso Community Schools and offer adult volleyball at Thomas Jefferson Middle School in their main gym as well as their auxiliary gym. As you mentioned, we do hockey, adult hockey, downtown at Central Park Plaza on the ice rink under the Urschel Pavilion. We also offer cornhole. We also offer ultimate frisbee. And so we're, once again, with youth sports, similar to that, we're also trying to find other adult sport opportunities that people are engaged with. And so last year we did a wiffle ball tournament. We did a kickball tournament. It's one of those things where, similar to myself, as you transition out of competitive athletics yourself, you're always looking for how to keep the juices flowing and continue to stay engaged. And so the adult sport program offers that, not only stay active, stay competitive, but also socialize with other people your age. And so our adult sports director, Dan Lukes, has done a great job continuing to grow that program and providing as many sports and opportunities for people ages 18 and above. And me personally, I know you asked that question, for quite a few years I played adult softball, had a blast doing that with my brother and a lot of our close friends who lived in the area, as well as adult volleyball. And then I'll find myself in a kickball tournament or two, ping pong tournament, or whatever else. As I've gotten more involved at the parks and taken on a little more of a leadership role, that those become harder to do, but certainly try to be there and participate as much as possible. Our golf courses also have leagues for adults, a simulator league as well as an outdoor league in the summer. So if you're interested in getting involved, whether you played sports growing up or just want to socialize with like-minded people, our adult sports program is a great place to do that.
Well, here I have a list of some very intriguing things that the Valpo Parks Department offers, but the Valpo Parks Department offers all types of enrichment and classes for people of all ages. What are some of these classes and experiences?
Yeah, so enrichment classes, we have adult enrichment, family enrichment, and youth enrichment. Some of those overlap, but the reason we break them up is mostly by age, but also based off of who in our office is responsible for executing those. So as far as our adult enrichment classes go, one of those programs is actually our Bonta Center. It's really senior enrichment, but we offer it as adult enrichment. So it's a place where seniors, those 55 and older, can go and socialize. They can have various programmings available for them within that space at the Bonta Activity Center, located off of Beach Street. As far as family enrichment goes, we do a number of different crafts, art programs. As far as youth enrichment goes, we do things such as STEM. We've done programs with Valparaiso University we actually have one coming up that's similar to what we're doing now, but it's in the studio, learning about radio and being online. We've also done programs with other institutions such as Fred Astaire Dance Studio. So we've done adult classes as well as youth classes in our enrichment. So once again, we're really trying to mix up the enrichment opportunities, try to find opportunities for people of all ages, and understand what is interesting to them and constantly change up our offerings each year so people keep coming back. But our bread and butter is kind of in the arts and crafts area when it comes to our enrichment.
If people want to find out more about what the Valpo Parks Department has to offer or register for one of these activities, where should they look?
The best place to start would be on our website, valpoparks.org. The main screen has a number of different buttons that you can select that'll take you into these different areas, whether it's special events, whether it's our day trips, whether it's youth sports, adult sports, enrichment, and some of the other properties that we have. So that's a great place to start. You're always welcome to call our office at 219-462-5144. Our helpful customer service staff can answer any questions that you have as well. Also on our website, you can find contact information for each of our programmers. And so if you want to reach out to someone directly, email and phone numbers are on there. If you want to ask a question specifically about youth sports to our youth sports director, Madison Bell, you can do so as well. So hopefully there's a number of different ways to connect with us. We have a pretty robust social media platform on Facebook that we have a lot of information going out, as well as an e-blast. And so once you get connected with us, we'll be sure to make sure that you have all the right information moving forward so you don't miss out on anything that we have to offer.
And I'll give you a chance to repeat all of that, like at the end.
Perfect.
Are people able to rent the shelters at some of the Valpo parks? And what shelters are available to rent? What would someone do in order to do that? What's the lowdown?
Yeah, so the lowdown on the shelter situation is at a variety of our parks, we have shelters that can be rented. Those rentals are an all-day rental, and it really comes down to, do you want a specific park? Do you want to be near a playground? Do you want a restroom attached to the shelter? How many people are you having within your event, your party? All of those questions are ones that we would ask you when you want to rent one of those shelters, and our staff can help point you in the right direction. Those all have a fee based off of the size and the location of it. So getting more information from our staff would be the best place to do that. But certainly want you guys, those listeners, to consider using our spaces, our public spaces for rentals. Once you rent the space, then it's yours for the day, as I mentioned. And we've seen a lot of really amazing events happen in our shelters, right? We've had people rent bounce houses and slip and slides and things of that nature to be able to really have the best party or family gathering that they'd like. So take advantage of it.
Is there any other things offered by the Valpo Parks Department that we haven't touched on yet that you can tell us about or that you want to tell us about?
Within the 22 parks, I mentioned 2 golf courses. I mentioned the Central Park Plaza programming that happens down there in the playgrounds. We also have a dog park that was built 3 years ago. It's a membership-based dog park. Information is on our website, but certainly call in if you have a dog and want it to run with other furry friends. So that's a really nice amenity that we offer. And so take advantage of that if you would love to do so. We also have a trail system that's was built by volunteers. It's called Creekside Trails. It's located adjacent to Creekside Golf Course off of Clifford Road and 130. It's roughly 12 miles of multi-use trails. Primary use out there is mountain biking, but we do see a lot of hikers, dog walkers, runners. There's a pond out there, and you can get access to Salt Creek. So we see a lot of fishermen, bird watchers, and a lot of other uses. So please, if you love to be outdoors, come see us. We have a lot of amazing opportunities for people to be outside and to enjoy the parks and the playgrounds and the spaces.
The Parks Department slogan is "A Valparaiso For All Generations." How is the Park Department ensuring that the slogan works within Valparaiso's parks?
A strong park system is, in my opinion, is based off of a diversity of opportunities and a wide variety within the portfolio itself. And so as we look at all the programs, all of the spaces that we offer, it's a good starting point to make sure that all generations are covered. Easier said than done. Some certainly have more opportunities than others, but I think to be well-rounded needs to have something for everybody. And so as we look at our current parks and making them better, we're looking at ways to provide a more of a variety of opportunities at those parks. As we look to build new parks, we're doing that very thing. So whether it's all generations, whether it's all users, whether it's regardless of skill or ability, whether it's a disability, we're trying to make parks as inclusive as possible and have that from the initial planning phase all the way through construction. And so the Valpo For All Generations is something that we are taking seriously and hope that as we continue to grow our park system, that we keep that in mind and continue to strive to be that for Valparaiso.
You mentioned, I think one question ago, that the Parks Department includes 2 golf courses. What can you tell us about those, and what are the differences between the 2, I guess?
So we have 2 golf courses in Valparaiso, 2 municipal golf courses run by the city. We have park employees that oversee the operations of both of those. One is called Forest Park Golf Course. It's located off of Sheffield near Valparaiso High School. It is an 18-hole course. It's challenging yet forgiving, and I say that because fairways and the greens are fairly narrow and small, but there's little out of bounds to get in trouble. And so it's a course that a lot of us that grew up in Valpo in this area played golf on and have learned the game of golf. For the longest time, it was the only course that the city operated until 2000 when a Creekside Golf Course was built. That's out on Clifford Road near Creekside Trails, as I mentioned earlier. It's a 12-hole course, and that was built with training in mind. And so there's a 9-hole and a 3-hole, which gets us to the 12. It has a 46 stall driving range that in the winter is heated and also has lights, so we can accommodate as many people as possible, and people can train throughout the winter if they so choose. We also have indoors 2 virtual simulators that people can play golf indoors throughout the winter or even during the rest of the year. And so we've tried to create a lot of reasons for people to come practice, improve on their game, or just want to come and do it for the very first time. We have a golf pro at Creekside that provides youth and adult lessons and is very good at helping grow the game of golf. And that's kind of where we are right now. As we came back from COVID, there seemed to be a resurgence in golf across the board, but especially with youth. And so we're hoping that continues, and we feel as if the combination of Forest Park and Creekside provides us with a variety of opportunities for people of all ages and ability levels to play golf, and hopefully encourages new people to want to try to play golf, try to learn golf.
And I know that the ice skating rink is closed right now because it's April, but when is the ice skating rink open? Like what months? And do you offer ice skating classes or times when beginners can go try it out?
So yeah, the ice rink is closed now. We're getting ready to transition that area to Farmers Market, which starts in June, as well as other summer downtown concerts and other events. But the ice rink is open November through 1st of March, weather pending. It's a great space for those that have skated before. It's a really amazing atmosphere. For those like myself who don't skate, I do enjoy just watching people skate because you can tell that they're having a good time. So we do open skate, which has a number of different hours of operation. But then to your question, we do have youth learn to skate programs. And so we have instructors that help kids as early as age 3 learn how to skate, learn how to stop, learn how to fall, learn how to get up. All of those things are important. And so our goal is to keep developing, growing the next generation of skaters. And so they can learn as well as take advantage of the amenity that is Central Park Plaza. So we have a lot of youth programs, learn to skate programs. We also have a youth hockey program that we kind of touched on a little bit earlier. And then we have an adult hockey program. You can also rent the ice as a part of a private rental. We do birthday parties down there. So if you're looking to host a youth birthday party, we have a party room. And then you can take advantage of being on the ice for the winter months. During the holidays is our busiest time, as you can imagine, when people are off school, off work, and family is in town. So it's a really amazing place to be in the winter, not only with the ice rink, but also the giant Christmas tree that's in the middle of the Central Park Plaza Park in front of the Northwest Health Amphitheater. A number of holiday lights are on around the park itself. We do some winter events and partner with other entities to do some as well. So if you have a chance to get downtown during the winter, Central Park Plaza is an amazing place to be.
What are some other new or exciting things coming from the Parks Department that you'd be able to share with us?
2 projects, which I know we'll still talk about, but we are in the process of working on the Valparaiso Skate Park, as well as the Sports and Recreation Campus. Those 2 are in design phase and close to being into construction phase. We're also looking at our current parks. We call them legacy parks, the ones that have been around for quite some time. Looking at reinvesting into those. Just this past week, we put a new playground in Will Park, and so those that visit that park have a brand new playground to play on and some other amenities within the park itself. And so it's this balance of building new and continuing to create new experiences, as well as making sure that we maintain what we've had, and then what really makes us a full, well-rounded program. A lot of other things I would say in the works. Our staff is constantly coming up with new programs, new events. We even have a committee of our own staff that we call the scheme team, and so they're scheming to come up with all sorts of new ways to engage with the public, whether in person, whether it's new places, or whether it's more social digital ways. So an exciting time for us as we grow and look for new ways to serve all of you.
Well, now we're gonna. Every other question I have is, I believe, about the skate park. So we've hit the transition point.
Excellent. We can finally talk about the skate park without feeling like we're spoiling the other questions, right?
Finally. The project has been in the works for a long time, but it looks like it's now getting closer to reality. What can you tell us, and what has had to happen to get us to this point in the skate park progress?
In some cases, it's about the journey as much as it is the destination, and this certainly has been quite the journey. We've been at the skate park for many, many years, but specifically the last two. We've been working with Doug Ketterman, who is based in Seattle, Washington. Doug is a professional skate park designer. He's a former Valparaiso High School grad and helped design the very first skate park that was built in the late 90s in Valpo called Flounder, and that was located at Rogers Lakewood Park. So when the parks decided to build a new park in a new location, we reached out to Doug to help us do that. And he was more than willing to be involved in this project. He even joked and said that he's been drawing on a napkin for the last 10 years, waiting for us to call him for him to help us build our next skate park. And so throughout the last 2 years, we've been working with Doug. We've been working with other designers. We've been working with the public to come up with this design and to select the location. So throughout that process, we've had a lot of really great public input. Throughout that input, we've selected the location of the park, which will be at Fairgrounds Park, the corner of Calumet and McCord. The northwest corner was a former soccer field that will be transitioned into the new skate park. As far as where we are now, so we went out to bid on the design 2 weeks ago and are working through that contract with the bidder, Garriup Construction and Grindline. Grindline is out of Seattle, Washington. And so we're really excited for those folks to be on our construction team as part of the design team as well. We are looking to have a groundbreaking ceremony on Tuesday, April 18th at 4:30 on the site, Fairgrounds Park. At that groundbreaking, we will introduce you to the entire project team. We'll provide a more thorough construction timeline, as well as reveal the name of the skate park. Up to this point, we've called it the Valparaiso Skate Park, and so our hope is to give it a true identity, one that people can be really excited about. And so I think without giving it away too early, I think people will be really excited as to what we have decided to call it. It was a collaboration amongst those internally as well as some of our partners externally to come up with this name. And we think that the total design, what will be built in phase one, will be extraordinary. It'll be a place that is for all generations. It'll be a place for all ages and abilities. We've designed it in a way that accommodates beginners as well as those that are more advanced or experts in the field. It'll be used for skateboarding, but certainly those that ride scooters, inline skates, BMX bikes will all be welcome, and they'll find excitement in taking advantage of the features that this park has to offer. So looking at roughly 16,000 square feet within the skate park itself. I myself am not an expert in skateboarding, and so for me to sit here and tell you all the different features that it has to offer would be doing it an injustice. But what I can say from those that I've talked to and those that are helping us design this is I think people will really, really love what will be built. There'll be things that maybe they've never skated on before. And so we're excited to be a destination skate park for those in the area to be able to come and take advantage of this brand new place.
Where's it going to be located? And you kind of answered what kind of features it would have.
Yep. So it'll be located at Fairgrounds Park. The north entrance, which is 704 McCord, will be the main entrance into the skate park. That's the north side of the park itself. The northwest corner of that park is where the skate park will sit. As you may recall, there was a former soccer field on that portion of that. So the skate park will be there. Soccer field will be relocated somewhere else, and then there'll still be some green space to the south of the skate park before you get to the softball diamonds. The reason that location was selected is it's very visible. It's right on Calumet, a main corridor through Valpo. It's accessible. There's sidewalks, pathways that lead you into the park. As well as it's located near Thomas Jefferson Middle School, as well as the new Valparaiso Boys and Girls Club. And so the proximity to other areas that will bring people in was important to us. The alternative is putting it somewhere not accessible, not visible, not well connected. And that was not the intention of this park. And we feel as if this location really allows the most people to take advantage of this park as possible.
When is it projected to be complete and open to the public?
So if we stay on schedule, the goal is to open this year. Now that may be late November, early December. If we have a winter like we just did, we may be skateboarding in January or February if we have continue to have nice days. But the goal is to get it done in this calendar year. Now, we may do a full grand opening, if you will, event in 24, call it early spring, this time next year. But the goal is to have people using the park the end of this year.
That's sooner than I expected.
It's ambitious, but if we, like I said, if we stay on schedule and if we have good weather, it can be done.
Well, I'm assuming this has been like a greater process, and you kind of started to answer this, but who has been like part of the planning process? Who are some of the key people?
Sure. So I'll just list them off, and really, I've been involved since the beginning, but it certainly isn't without the list of people I'm about to mention that got us to this point and will continue to get us to the finish line. So our park staff has been a huge help in making this happen, from our director, John Seibert, to Dan McGuire, and so many others within our specific team. Externally, we've worked with Doug Ketterman, as I mentioned, a former Valparaiso High School grad, as our lead designer. He really kicked things off. He was involved with the public engagement sessions, listened to what everyone wanted in their park, and designed to that. I won't put words in his mouth, but he did tell me that this is the best design that he's ever put on paper. Keep in mind, Doug has designed 21 X Games parks across the globe in his professional career. So this is one that he was able to get creative and put everything that he's ever wanted into one place, which was pretty remarkable to hear him say that. In addition to Doug, we've worked with Grindline Skate Parks. They're out of the West Coast. They're a global skate park design build firm. They took Doug's design and made it into a buildable structure. So they've been very involved up to this point. We've worked with Abermarsh. They're an engineering consulting firm. They've helped us understand the civil side of this project, what the drainage needs to look like, how the project can really be built from the ground up. And so we've been thankful for their expertise. Also more local input and stakeholders. We have a skate park committee of over 20 members, those within the community itself that really want to see this being built. And so they've been involved from the very beginning in meetings, focus groups, input throughout. A couple of those in particular that we've leaned on quite a bit have been Matt Evans, Kay Tasha Seibert, and Jeff Zielinski. All of them have been champions from the beginning in making sure that we don't lose sight of our goal, as well as make sure that we don't let this become secondary in terms of our priorities. And so can't thank that whole group enough. The city of Valparaiso has been very supportive of this, and the public itself has certainly been engaged from the very beginning. So we're really excited as to who's been a part of it, and we hope to get more people on board as we continue to move through the process.
This question's kind of funny to me. Shot in the dark. Does the park plan to have nights dedicated to those just learning to skate?
We've learned a lot from the Central Park Plaza ice rink and its programming down there with our Learn to Skate programs. As I mentioned, I did not grow up with ice skates on my feet, mostly because there wasn't a place to do so, other than maybe a local park or a pond near your house. And so I did not learn to skate as a kid. Now that park, Central Park Plaza, is open, we see kids as young as 3 years old out there learning to ice skate. And that then has grown into more people in our open skate, more people, kids playing youth hockey, adult hockey. And so you can see that happening through the programming that has occurred because of the place existing. We intend to do the same thing at the skate park, having learned to skate camps, clinics, hosting competitions, allowing beginners to feel safe and to be instructed as to how to stop, how to start, how to do different tricks, how to feel confident on the board and their body positioning. And so, yes, to your question, whether it's during the day, at night, what have you, there will be dedicated days, there will be dedicated hours of days that are to camps, clinics for beginners, as well as up to even intermediate and advanced.
Mm. If someone wanted to become a skateboard tutor, would they be able to volunteer to teach kids to skate?
Absolutely. Similar to being a volunteer baseball coach, softball coach, we would love those that are interested to become either what we would call maybe a skate guard, so kind of there roaming the park, helping kids along unofficially, or more an official capacity where you're teaching one of the classes that we're hosting or teaching a clinic, if you will. And so if someone is interested, they can reach out to the park office, ask for me, and I will take down your name and information. And when we are ready to do those programs, once we're open, we'll certainly reach out and make sure that you're available, or that we reach out and ask if you're available to be a part of that program.
Is the skate park still fundraising, or have you met your goals?
We have we surpassed our initial goal, but we are still fundraising, because the more money we can raise, the bigger and better the park we can build. And so we are sort of going into the next phase of fundraising with a goal in mind of raising an additional $350,000. And so if people are still interested in giving to the project, we certainly would love to talk with you, explain to you what that money will go towards and how that it can help continue to grow the park into one of the best ones that we can foreseeably build within our means.
Is there anything else you can tell us about the skate park that I guess I haven't given you the chance to talk about?
I think sort of philosophically, right, there are a number of kids that participate in what I would call more traditional sports. Soccer, football, basketball, baseball. We have a lot of opportunities for those kids to take advantage of things that we offer, but we don't have any what I would consider a non-traditional sport or an extreme sport, action sport. And so the Valparaiso Skate Park allows us to finally be able to do that. And we sort of from the beginning have said that we do a lot of things for the kids that we do know. And what I mean by kids we know, those are the ones that participate in our programs, whether it's one sport or the other. This park is for the kids we don't know, the ones that we haven't engaged with yet. And so we're really excited that we are providing that opportunity for them to be a part of something and for them to have a safe place and a welcoming place for them to skate, to scoot, to inline skate, or to BMX bike. And so we're really excited about that mission of providing a place for the kids we don't know. As I mentioned, right, it's a visible place. It's very accessible. So we hope that it is where they decide to go to socialize and to be active, because we think that's important. Not everyone has to play basketball. Not everyone has to play baseball. So find your place, whether it's even the skate park or somewhere else, and do so productively.
Switching back right before we wrap up to you and the department, since joining the Parks Department as a member of its staff, has the department or you personally completed any projects or met any goals that you're particularly proud of?
Personally, I was asked to be involved with the Creekside Trails project pretty early in my career. I hadn't had a lot of experience on the project side, but when I was asked to do so, immediately met some amazing people in the public that encouraged me and reminded me that if we all do this together, we can create a really amazing place. And so fast forward 3 years later, we went from opening at 4 miles to now 12 miles of trails, and it continues to grow. So I would say one of my early accomplishments, or being a part of an accomplishment, would be the Creekside Trails program project, if you will. Some of my closest of friends now are from that project, and so it's really opened my eyes to what we can do together if we put our minds together and all strive for the same goal. I feel the same being a part of the skate park project, that it's really banded a lot of people together to do good work, right? There's not as much physical volunteerism that can be done with this one. The trails, there were literally hundreds of people with shovels, rakes in their hands building the trail, which is another great experience in itself. This one's a little bit different with the skate park. There's not as many things to actually do, but just the support, whether it's financially or otherwise, has been tremendous. And so being a part of that project has really made me feel good about this, being involved and where we are headed. As a staff, there's been a lot of accomplishments across the board, but I would say, really who we've brought on and the culture that John Seibert and the rest of the staff have built over the last couple years in particular, as we've transitioned into adding more people as well as growing the team, has been quite the accomplishment in sense of, like, we have a lot that we oversee. We continue to want to do more, but we haven't lost sight of the quality of the projects and the quality of the programs. So really, really thankful for those that we get to work with on a daily basis, and happy to serve those that are in the community.
Well, right before we wrap things up, is there anything that we missed that you'd like to share? Any events that are up and coming that you'd like to promote, or any websites or phone numbers that you'd like to give out?
Yeah, I brought the activity guide so I wouldn't screw this one up, because we have so many things that I know are important, and it really comes down to people's interest. A couple highlights here to talk about in terms of just key dates. As we talked about, the groundbreaking for the skate park is April 18th at 4:30 at Fairgrounds Park. Then April 23rd is Active Kids Day. That's at Central Park Plaza. It's a really great event where we invite local kid-focused organizations, vendors to come down and talk about all of the great things that all organizations have to offer for kids, not just Valpo Parks. So we've really opened up the door for parents to come down and learn about things that they can get their kids involved with. And then May 19th is the Color Fun Run, sponsored by the Mayor's Youth Council. That'll be held at Valparaiso Park. We've traditionally done a number of more competitive races, whether they're 5K or otherwise. There are a lot of organizations doing competitive 5Ks, so we took a bit of a different approach this year in doing a color fun run. So if you're familiar with what that is, right, maybe a little bit of running, maybe some obstacles, but the most important part of the whole thing is that you get to spray each other with colored powder and run around and have a lot of fun. So really, really excited about that event on May 19th, and our staff has been preparing for that for quite some time. So those are kind of the next 3 big events that we have. There's a lot of other events that you can see on our website at valpoparks.org. Or as I mentioned, you can call the park office, 219-462-5144, and talk to our customer service staff, and they'll point you in the right direction with whatever information that you're looking for. Facebook page, Valpo Parks. Find us on Facebook, like us, and stay engaged that way as well. Or reach out to me, KNUPPNAU at valpo.us, and I'd be happy to help with whatever questions you might have.
All right. I think that's going to wrap things up for this week's edition of the Porter County Perspective. I've been Joe Parlock, sitting down with Mr. Kevin Nubnaw, the Assistant Director of the Valparaiso Parks Department. Thank you for coming in today, and we all look forward to the opening of the skate park.
Thank you so much, Joe, for having me. This is a wonderful radio station. Really glad that you guys get the opportunity to do this kind of stuff, and appreciate you inviting me in. Thank you.
We appreciate having you.